Good morning, hikers. We are day 7 of our Flinders Rangers trek. We're at Mount Elm School Shelter this morning, which is just a few kilometres out of Hawker, and I think because of that it's not well frequented. It actually said on Gut Hook there's no toilet here, but there is a toilet here. However, the door doesn't close, which is okay because there's nobody else here. So we are hiking through, well, theoretically to double hutting it today, but we won't make it to the second hut / shelter because probably because it's too far. But the next shelter is too close for us to really consider camping there for the night. So it's a little over 16 kilometres to Calabrinda shelter, where we'll probably have lunch. And then it's another just over 19 kilometres to Buckaringa North, which would make it a 35-kilometre day. And it's highly unlikely that we're going to be up for that, but we're going to just hike to as close as we can to Buckaringa North shelter and find a decent wild camp for the night, which will make, the following couple of days that little bit easier. It's freezing cold again this morning, and was again last night, although I don't think as cold as the night before when we were at Mayo Hut. What do you think? Marginally?
Yeah, I don't really know because we've refined our sleep system a bit, so I was wearing my fleece overnight and both my thermals and socks and my beanie, so I was quite snug and warm, but yeah. I was doing things quite differently. So
yeah, and I think at the end of this, when we're back home, there'll certainly be some reflections for us, and we'll probably do a video on tweaking our gear for cold conditions and managing cold overnight and in camp in particular. So we didn't do a lot of footage yesterday, mainly because it was freezing cold and windy and intermittently raining throughout the day. So every time we sort of thought about getting the camera out, it started to rain again. So yesterday's video is probably not all that great, but we'll try and get some decent footage today. It is still cloudy here, but the forecast is for it to be cloudy but with no rain. So fingers crossed, because to be honest, that does make it a bit miserable. So we're gonna get the day underway. It's heading towards 8:30, so that's a bit of a late start for us, but we had significant issues getting motivated to get out of our quilt fortresses this morning.
It was cold.
It's cold. Okay, we'll check in with you along the way.
Hikers.
Hey everybody, we're just having our morning break on day 7. We've only done about 8 kilometres, but it's been really tricky this morning. Just fields of rock, walkers follow fence along fields of rock. So it's kind of evened out a little bit now, so it's slightly easier going. It's really exposed because it is mainly what seem to be disused farm fields, previously with sheep, because there's muchos sheep poo everywhere but no actual sheep anywhere to be seen. And so we're literally about halfway between where we camped last night at Mount Elm and Calabrinda, which is the next designated trail shelter. So we're going to stop there for a late-ish lunch, and then we're going to hike on and sort of see how far we go.
Yep, for 8 kilometres.
Yep. And then we really need to do about 25 kilometres today to kind of be on track, and then we'll just see how much further beyond that we can comfortably go in terms of daylight hours and our comfort levels, and also where is appropriate to wild camp. And then we'll hike through Buckaringa North tomorrow morning at some point and filter some more water there. So we'll get on with it and check in with you later, but it is absolutely beautiful here. We're just, we are walking through fields, but the backdrop of the mountains is just absolutely spectacular. It's really beautiful. Just walked up a little bitty hill on the way to Calabrinda Creek campsite, our lunch spot of the day, and this is the view. Flinders Ranges. Hey there, hikers. It's the end of day 7. It's day 7. It's the end of day 7.
It's the end of day 7
of our Flinders Ranges Heysen trek. We are in our tent for the night. We're wild camped between Calabrinda Creek campsite. Wild camped between Calabrinda Creek campsite and Buckaringa North campsite, which is only a few kilometres away, we think. Although Guthooks thinks that Calabrinda Creek campsite and Buckaringa North campsite are in the same place, even though they're clearly several kilometres apart. In fact, according to the Friends of the Heysen Trail, they are 19.04 kilometres apart. Anyway, needless to say, Guthook has been kind of glitchy and weird, and there have been discrepancies in distances that are frustrating, but it is what it is. I also do have a file, like a spreadsheet file downloaded from the Friends of the Heysen Trail website of all of the distances between campsites, which I would highly recommend anyone does. It is actually a really useful reference because I think relying on Guthook alone is sometimes rather problematic.
And can I just ask that if anybody has the same experience as us, could you put something in the comments? Because I find that Guthook is reliably about 10% out, and always the actual walk distance, like how far we actually walked, is 10% further than Guthook's estimate. So yeah, I mean, I'm just curious if anybody else finds the same thing, or if it's just Australia, or anyway, get in the comments.
Anyway, so tomorrow we're not 100% sure what the plan is. Obviously, we'll hike through Buckaringa North at some point and filter some water and stop and probably have a morning snack. Now, the campsite after that is Mount Elm South, which is a little over 29 kilometres from where we are now, which is pretty large. And I believe there to be some elevation, which I haven't fully investigated as yet. So it might be that we wild camp a little outside of that campsite tomorrow night, or we push through and do the 29.2 kilometres if we think it's doable. If it's not, you know, the downside to that is that we'll have another big water carry to meet our needs for a wild camp tomorrow night. And, you know, the upside to that is we don't have to walk 29.2 kilometres, which is a bit shit. But we are having a really great time. I actually do feel it's marginally warmer tonight than it was last night and has been for the last couple of nights. I don't know if I'm just going
I'm still
nuts.
rugging up.
I'll still be rugging up too. So yeah, we have had a really good day. Actually, the terrain was not too difficult on this stretch. Lots of walks across paddocks, along tracks, along fences, but not kind of monotonous and horrible, because there's always something beautiful to look at here in the Flinders Ranges. The scenery is just so magnificent.
Plenty of kangaroos, plenty of parrots.
Yeah, lots of ringneck parrots, which we don't see very often, and they're absolutely gorgeous, so that's been lovely, and a couple of wallabies this morning. So all in all, we've had a really great day, and we're going to go to sleep now. We hope that you've all had a great day too, and
Thanks for watching.
We'll check in tomorrow, and good night.
Good night.